Hello and welcome to Season 4 of the NGO Whisperer show. My name is Dr. Carolyne Opinde and I am the founder of the NGO Whisperer and the convener of the NGO Whisperer Masterclass. The NGO Whisperer is a consulting business that provides technical support to nonprofits and social enterprises so they can successfully impact people's lives. Joining us today for part 2 of community-led interventions in South Africa is Reverend Deon van der Berg. Reverend Deon is the founder of Beginet. Welcome to the show, Reverend Deon.
Thank you very much, Caroline. It's a great privilege to be on the show.
You did 1,000 kilometers in 5 days alongside your colleague, Charmaine Matlakome, and you were able to reach out to communities, people from all walks of life, South Africans of different races, to speak the message of let's reconcile South Africa. I also know that you have a program that you are going to implement before COVID. One of them is Let's Reconcile in Correctional Facilities. Would you share that with us?
Yeah, that's actually a door that opened in Bloemfontein, where we met up with the head of correctional services in a certain department in Bloemfontein and the Northern Cape. And they are busy with a program in the prisons, the Perpetrator and the Victim Program, where they talk to them about reconciliation, forgiveness, everything, and how they bring them actually together. And most of them are about gender-based violence, and bring the victim and the perpetrator together, and then lead them to the victim asking the perpetrator, why did you do it to me? Did you ever, this is what happened to me after you've done it. This is how it changed my life. Do you realize that? And also have the perpetrator talk to the victim. And it doesn't start with forgiveness, as he said, but it always ends up in forgiveness and reconciliation. And that is one of the things we want to go and capture. We have the permission to do it. We want to capture it. We want to show the world there is hope. You see, if you ask me what Beginet is all about, it's a distributor of hope. And to share stories like that, that is to sing to people out there, there is always hope. People's life can change. They can forgive. They can reconcile. In some instances, as he said, it's impossible that the victim don't want to forgive and don't want to reconcile, but there are other stories that they really do.
That is so powerful.
Yeah.
It is so powerful when, as we know, South Africa is one of the countries that has the highest incidences of gender-based violence in the world. And therefore, the program that you are doing is looking at not just the victims and providing support to the survivors and victims of gender-based violence, but also addressing it through the perpetrators.
Yes.
And bringing through forgiveness and reconciliation in those situations, and ensuring that those perpetrators of gender-based violence are actually rehabilitated. I know because of COVID-19 and the lockdown, you had to switch gears, you had to pivot and implement new programs in some cases, and in some cases you had to deepen your program model. I know you have built partnerships to be able to do this work. And one of them that I would like us to start with is very exciting. It is the Gracious Nubian. Ladies and gentlemen, the Gracious Nubian is a social enterprise that is based in Bloemfontein, South Africa. And what they do is they design and develop an innovative washable sanitary pad, sanitary towel that can be reused up to 2 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a company that is 100% Black owned by women for women. And they actually work with people with hearing impairment. The founder and the owner of this social enterprise, Udea Nyane Bauer, is an amazing woman who is impacting the lives of women and girls in South Africa in the area of menstrual health, hygiene, management. So, Reverend Deon, what is the role of Beginet in this?
So yeah, this is a very exciting partnership, but it's got a history. After COVID, we had to be responsive to needs because I couldn't go on with what I was doing. I couldn't get on an airplane and serve other communities. You couldn't get out of your own yard. So things had to change, and a lot of things changed in where we gave hope. So I started to reach out also with food projects. We can talk about that later, and end up in the Northern Cape after the lockdown was finished, in the drought-stricken area of the Northern Cape, where I supported farmers with food for their sheep. And then with one of my connections, I met Udea. And Udea, she's got this passion for what she's doing. I wish I can have words to describe the passion for what she's doing with this sanitary patch that's washable. She did a lot of research. The Central University of Technology in Bloemfontein supported her, and they developed one of the highest quality washable sanitary pads that's also registered in South Africa's SABS as a quality product. But Udea had this burning desire, and that's why she actually developed it, to reach out to farmers, the farm workers and the farm worker community, the women and the children, but she didn't have the open door. And I said to her, Udea, with one WhatsApp message, I can connect you to 32 organizers of the farming communities in the Northern Cape. With one message, I can get a message out there, we are coming. And she said, please help me. So that's where the project started. Udea, she's got a passion with her deaf workers to manufacture these pads, but she's not an NGO and she doesn't have connections. And I said, okay, let's work together. I'll take you there. You can speak to the girls and the women. I'll open the doors, because that is part of bringing hope to farm workers, wives and children. Most of these young girls miss a huge part of their education because they cannot go to school. They use things that give them infection. So we're going to bring hope. And that's one of the programs that I'm really excited about implementing in the Northern Cape.
Wonderful. So far, ladies and gentlemen, the Gracious Nubian has distributed over 3,000 washable sanitary towels in Bloemfontein, and that is just the beginning. We invite you to partner with Beginet and Gracious Nubian to distribute sanitary towels reaching over 10,000 women and girls in Bloemfontein and the wider Northern Cape area. That is a lot of people, and we're looking forward to collaborating with you. You can reach Beginet on their website and work with them to ensure that these women, these girls, have their dignity restored. Reverend Deon, I would like to invite you now to speak about the work that you do with the farmers in restoring hope during this time of COVID.
Yeah, so first after COVID, in the lockdown time, I started to distribute food to the local communities here, 90 families a week. And then a pastor in Mamelodi asked me, Pastor Abel Zuma, please help me. There's 60 pastors who doesn't have food, and we also help to give them food. Every second week, we gave them a food parcel. And then after that, when the lockdown came down, I keep on doing that. And then somebody said, but the farmers in the Northern Cape, they are really struggling because of the drought. It's been 8 years last year. They're in their 9th year this year. And they are down and out financially. And so we just started the whole thing about being responsive and to respond to a need and to have an impact. That is the thing that I believe in, and to go and give hope. So we collaborated with Hygiene South Africa, me and a friend of mine. They gave us a truck with a trailer, and we moved a lot of fodder and hail and silage, everything to the Northern Cape, to the Van Wyksvlei community, to the Boesmanland community where it's utmost dry, and Calvinia community. Most of these communities, they haven't had rain for almost 9 years. So, and the government doesn't render help. They doesn't give help. That's so sad in our country. But that is a chance for us as South Africans to stand together and help and to deliver hope. Not food, to deliver hope. I had a lot of contacts with a lot of farmers, and they said, a lot of them said to me, you know what, this bale of grass is for my sheep, but it gives me hope. So, and from there, I start to communicate with these farmers, and the one farmer after the other farmer, they will tell you, we don't talk about money anymore because we don't have money. But then the one after the other come to me and says, you know what, there's actually a bigger need. I'm too shy to talk about it, but I cannot afford my child's school fees anymore. And then I realized there's a huge need to help support parents to pay their children's school fees. There are funds available to pay for the children's stay in a school hostel, but they're not funds to help pay for the school fees. And in South Africa, yes, the government support the schools, but they have extra teachers to make sure that the education is of the highest quality to the children. To pay these teachers, everybody must pay a certain amount of school fees. And these parents cannot do it, and then the school boards can take it for that long, but then they start to ask, please pay, because it affects our school as a whole. So yeah, now Carolyne, I've done some research. I've asked all the people that I'm connected with, how many parents need help for their children. At this stage, we need help for 200 to pay 280 children's school fees. That's from grade R up to grade 12, the matric year. And it is an amount of 4.9 million that we need to get to pay school fees for 1 year. It is a mammoth task. I cannot get my head around it, but I know this is a calling to do it. I have a passion to do it, and I know if people stand together, then we will have the money and we can pay the school fees, and the school systems can go on, and there's less stress on parents. And even what happened also, Carolyne, is that parents saw that they cannot afford school fees and their children's school tuition anymore. Then they took them out of schools and they started to homeschool them. Now they are in such a bad financial state that lots of parents cannot even afford the syllabus for the homeschooling anymore. So that's also a big challenge. So it's not to help people live lavish lives, it's to pay the basics and to help children get their basic right, and that is for a proper education.
Absolutely. And education, as Nelson Mandela said, education is really the key to open opportunities for anyone and everyone. And so as we are here today, we invite you to collaborate, to partner with Beginet. And they have a crowdfunding site on backabuddy.co.za, and we will provide you with the links for you to contribute to supporting these children to get an education from grade R to matric level, where they complete their high school education. It is an honor. It is a pleasure. Reverend Deon, as we come to the end of this show, what message do you have to people who are wanting to begin to implement community-led interventions, just like you have done?
What I can say, it is very hard. It's not easy. It will cost you in your personal life, in your relationships, what you maybe wouldn't think it will cost you. Therefore, you must be very sure of your calling. And I say calling because I know the Lord called me to do this in South Africa now. When I wanted to give up, I go back to my calling, and then Carolyne, then I talk to you and you keep on motivating me. So you have to have a calling, and you have to have people around you to encourage you, who believes in you. Otherwise, you won't do it. And then the one thing about me and Beginet is, from the day I started, I say Beginet is also a network. You have to connect to a network of people. You have to have friends who stand with you. You have to have a network. And if you don't have a network, connect with someone who have a network. Connect with Beginet. If you're in South Africa, we can see how we can work and how I can connect you to radio stations and whatever. But you have to make sure about your calling, and you must have people around you to encourage you, who believes in you and who encourage you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Reverend Deon. That's who we've had today. Quite a lot to take on because of the work that he does. Community-led interventions in South Africa, opportunities have opened, and he is asking you to collaborate with him. If you have any community-led interventions that you would like to partner with Beginet, because they have a platform through which you can work together across South Africa to reach out to the marginalized communities, disadvantaged communities, whether it is women and girls in the area of distributing washable sanitary pads in collaboration with Gracious Nubian, or whether it's working with farmers in drought-stricken areas to ensure that they have support system to be able to pull through the drought seasons, as well as working with families within South Africa to restore family unity. Also, through the work that they do with correctional facilities, if you are a gender-based violence prevention organization and you would like to collaborate with Beginet, you are welcome to do so. Reverend Deon, where can people reach you?
The most easiest way is to email me on Deon, D-E-O-N, at Beginet, begin with a .org. So that is the most easiest way. If they go on our website, on the last page, contact us, they can go there, write a message, and that message will be sent to my email address, and that is beginet.org is the website.
Thank you so much, Reverend Deon, for sharing with us insights, wisdom, challenges, and successes that Beginet has accomplished over the last 2 years, pre and post COVID-19 lockdown. We are so honored for you to share this with us so other nonprofits can learn how best to implement community-led interventions, not only in Africa, but also around the world. We are so honored to have you. This episode has been sponsored by the NGO Whisperer Masterclass. We invite you to sign up for our upcoming masterclasses at ngowhisperer.com/masterclass. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for part 2 of community-led interventions in South Africa. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social media platforms. As always, it's all about connecting people, raising funds, and impacting lives globally.